Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're watching right now, you're witnessing a moment that could change everything because today we have breaking news that may redefine the future of the Iraqi dinar. That's right, 2025 just took a sharp turn. Imagine holding on to something for years, hearing whispers and speculation, waiting for confirmation, and now suddenly, boom, official acknowledgement. That's what's happening today. Stay with me until the end, because we're diving deep into what this announcement means, how it could impact you as an investor or someone simply watching, and what may unfold next. The details are big, the implications serious, and the time to pay attention is now. From years of whispers, rumors, hopeful speculation, and constant what-if thinking, today feels like a turning point. So many longtime holders of the Iraqi dinar have been waiting with patience, some even with skepticism, but clinging to hope that one day there might finally be clarity. And that day appears to have come. With the new confirmed exchange rate announcement, what was once hopeful speculation has now moved into the realm of reality. For everyone watching, this marks a transition from waiting, watching, and wondering to being armed with official information. You now have something concrete, you have clarity. This drastically changes the emotional and financial landscape for holders of the dinar, because clarity breeds confidence, and confidence changes everything in the world of currencies. Let's get real about why a confirmed rate matters so much. Currency isn't magic, it's trust combined with economic policy. When a government confirms a currency's rate, especially after political events, it signals they are ready to back that currency with policy, structure, and institutional support. That's why this announcement from Iraq isn't just about numbers, it's about intent. It suggests that banks, financial institutions, and markets may begin to realign. It signals the possibility of increased liquidity, a smoother exchange ecosystem, and perhaps greater participation from both local and international actors. For holders of the dinar, it might feel like your patience has finally been recognized. For observers, it's a lesson in how macro events, political outcomes, leadership changes can shift financial ground on a dime. This is why today's confirmation matters far beyond personal portfolios. Now let's talk about what this could mean practically, what it might look like if things start to move. First, banks and exchange houses may adjust their posted rates soon, reflecting this new official value. That could mean when you go to exchange or trade, the numbers you see might start changing. Liquidity might begin to rise. More dinars in circulation, more demand, possibly more international interest. For traders, that could mean increased volume and potentially favorable conditions. For holders, it might mean a window of opportunity, a chance to convert, trade, or hold under more stable conditions. It changes the calculus from maybe someday to maybe soon. The official confirmation sets the stage not just for speculation but for action, and in finance, action is where things get real. But, and this is important, this is not a skyrocket overnight scenario. Currency adjustment is seldom instantaneous or dramatic overnight. Typically, markets absorb change gradually, in phases. There could be periods of volatility, testing, recalibration. That's normal when a major announcement like this hits. So while there's real potential, this isn't a guarantee of meteoric rise. It's the beginning of a process. Smart holders and investors will watch bank behavior, exchange activity, liquidity flows. They'll watch carefully how domestic and global markets react. Patience, the same virtue that kept many holding through lean years, will remain essential now. This isn't an overnight jackpot, it's a gradual shift. And the smart move is to observe, understand, and act strategically when conditions make sense. Let's take a moment to look at why this announcement came now. Recent political events, notably the victory of Sudani, or what you referred to as Sudani's victory, and a mandate for economic reform. Stability and governance often precedes meaningful policy changes, including those related to currency. The timing suggests that authorities might be seeking to leverage renewed political clarity to stabilize the economy and assert confidence in the dinar. It could be part of broader monetary and fiscal reforms aimed at reinvigorating Iraq's economic infrastructure, rebuilding trust domestically and internationally, and encouraging investment. If that's the case, this confirmation might just be the first move in a sequence of policies. That's why watching developments closely over the coming weeks and months will be critical. For those who have held the dinar for years, the long-term believers, this feels like validation. It feels like the moment you've been waiting for. All those times you heard soon, maybe we're working on it now, there's something concrete. That can be emotionally powerful. But it doesn't guarantee overnight riches, and that's why mindset matters. This confirmation validates patience, but also introduces a window where careful observation and strategic thinking come into play. It may be tempting to act fast, convert, trade, move holdings, but doing so without understanding the full market environment could be risky. For experienced investors, this could be a chance to evaluate options thoughtfully, consider bank policies, exchange rates, conversion fees, international regulations. For newer holders, it's an education in how markets, policy, and currency valuation intersect. If you're new to this, if you've been curious but uncertain, now is a great time to start paying attention. The confirmation doesn't just affect seasoned holders, it changes the entire playing field. Observing how banks and exchange houses respond, monitoring liquidity changes, and watching international markets could offer insights into whether this shift is stable or just hype. Use this moment to learn how currency markets respond to political triggers, leadership changes, and official confirmations. Understand that currency's value depends on confidence, transparency, regulation, not rumors. Whether you're evaluating a small holding or just following the story, now you can watch real-time currency mechanics and learn for future decisions. Approach cautiously, but stay alert. This is a live lesson in macroeconomics unfolding before us. Let's also talk about global perception. When a country officially reaffirms the value of its currency, international investors, banks, and financial institutions take notice. That can lead to increased foreign interest, cross-border exchanges, and potentially more liquidity from overseas. For the Iraqi dinar, this could open doors that were previously closed or uncertain. International institutions may reassess risk, foreign investors may explore participation, and remittance or exchange flows could grow. That could drive demand, increase turnover, and gradually elevate visibility and trust in the dinar beyond Iraqi borders. While this doesn't guarantee a major surge, it does increase the chance that the dinar becomes more actively traded, a positive sign for holders waiting for broader recognition. Still, as with any financial or currency news, there's risk. Currencies are fragile in a way. They rely on public trust, political stability, economic fundamentals. A confirmed rate gives initial momentum, but what happens next depends heavily on policy, consistency, economic reform, banking practices, and global acceptance. If any of those falter, the momentum could stall or reverse. That's why this announcement should be seen as the opening chapter, not the conclusion. For holders and potential investors, it's vital to stay informed, understand local and international developments, and think long-term. Don't let excitement lead to impulsive decisions. Use reason, not hype, and, if possible, treat this as one step in a journey, not a final destination. Now let's visualize what a successful transition could look like in coming months. Maybe banks begin posting updated exchange rates reflecting the new value. Maybe exchange houses prepare for increased volume. Maybe conversion and transfer processes become more transparent and regulated. Maybe foreign institutions start to show interest. With enough momentum, we could see a gradual climb in demand and a more active dinar market. Investors might gradually regain confidence, holders might begin to see clearer liquidity paths, and over time, this could change the perception of the dinar from a speculative hold to a currency with renewed viability. That's the potential horizon, but only if the structural pieces align. Of course, there could also be cautious realism among holders. Some may wait to see how banks respond. Some may hold off until there's Watching how the first weeks or months unfold could provide a clearer idea of stability. If volatility appears, or if rates fluctuate, those signals will matter. For long-term investors, measured patience might pay off. For shorter-term traders, quick moves may be tempting but also risky. This moment demands mindfulness, attention, and a clear understanding of balancing opportunity with prudence. Let's shift focus to what this might mean domestically inside Iraq. For ordinary citizens, a confirmed and stable dinar rate could mean better predictability in daily transactions, imports, exports, and remittances. If banks and exchange services align, people could experience more fairness in rates for pay, for currency exchange. Businesses might begin recalculating budgets with more clarity. Imports and exports could be priced more reliably. Inflation, which sometimes shadows currency instability, could be managed more effectively with consistent currency value. Over time, this could improve trust in financial institutions, encourage local investment, and stabilize domestic markets. That's not just speculation, that's the potential impact when currency stability aligns with policy and economic practices. But stability isn't automatic. For domestic benefits to materialize, several things must go right. Banks have to cooperate, exchange houses must operate transparently, regulations need to be enforced, and governmental oversight must remain steady. If any of those falter, for instance, if inflation skyrockets or political instability resurfaces, this confirmation could lose impact. That's why people who care about more than just profit, regular citizens, businesses, communities also need to watch this carefully. Currency touches everyday life. Grocery prices, rents, imports, wages. If the system reshapes well, many could benefit. If it doesn't, uncertainty remains. The path ahead is as much social and economic as financial. For international watchers and diaspora communities, this moment might also represent a renewed bridge between Iraq and the global financial ecosystem. Remittances, transfers, foreign business, all of those depend heavily on currency stability. A confirmed dinar rate could encourage overseas Iraqis to send money home with greater confidence, potentially boosting local economies. Foreign businesses might reevaluate opportunities for investment. International trade partners could reassess risk. Over time, this could contribute to rebuilding economic ties, improving trade flows, and potentially stabilizing economic relations with global markets. That could mean long-term benefit beyond speculative currency trading benefit for real lives, communities, businesses. But again, timing and execution are critical. If this confirmation is merely symbolic, without follow-through, it may end up being just another drop in the ocean. The difference between symbolic and structural lies in policy implementation, institutions, regulation, and public trust. So whether you're a holder, an observer, a trader, or just someone curious, watch closely, ask questions, follow bank announcements, follow exchange trends, watch for global interest. Use this moment as a starting point for informed observation, not a finish line. Over the coming months, developments will show whether this is a milestone or just noise. Now, as someone interested in this story, maybe you hold dinar, maybe you don't, what should you do next? First, stay informed. Follow official announcements, bank rates, exchange house updates, compare rates. Watch liquidity, see if exchanges are smooth, stable, transparent. Avoid rumors. Focus on verified, clear information. Second, think in terms of long-term potential rather than quick gains. Currency markets are volatile, short-term leaps are rare, long-term stability matters. Third, approach with realistic expectations. Confirmed rate is a start, not a guarantee. Use caution. And finally, treat this as part of a bigger economic picture. Currency value is intertwined with politics, policy, banking, global economics. Stay aware, be patient, be ready. If you've been waiting for this moment for clarity, confirmation, hope today may feel like validation. But remember, validation is not the finish line. It's a checkpoint. What follows depends heavily on choices by institutions, governments, holders, investors, and individuals. This is a dynamic story, not a concluded one. Be part of it with eyes open, mind clear, and expectations grounded. Watch how markets respond. Watch how policy shapes things. Watch how trust evolves. Because what happens next could define the next chapter of the Iraqi dinar story and maybe yours as well. For newcomers wondering, is this a scam? That's a fair question. Currency speculation has seen its share of hype. But this isn't just chatter. This is official confirmation. That doesn't erase risk, but it gives a starting point grounded in reality, not rumor. Think of it like a door opening. You can look inside, you can step through, but you should do it carefully, thoughtfully, and with eyes wide open. Don't rely on dreams, rely on data. Don't rush, observe. Don't assume instant windfalls, consider long-term value. That's how currency, banking, and markets have always worked. This moment changes the conversation. It doesn't guarantee the outcome. As we look ahead, let's imagine possible timelines. In the short term, next few weeks or months, we may see banks updating rates, exchange offices posting new numbers, small volume increases. In midterm, over several months, maybe international interest picks up, volume grows, liquidity improves. In long term, over a year or more, perhaps, broader economic reforms take hold, trust builds, and the dinar gradually reestablishes stability and stature. But along the way, there may be bumps, skepticism, volatility, delayed reforms, market hesitations. That's normal. What matters is staying alert, informed, and ready to adapt. This is not a sprint. It's a journey. Whether you've held the dinar for years or are just hearing about this now, this announcement demands respect. It deserves attention, and it deserves careful analysis. No speculative whispers, no blind leaps. Just clear eyes, steady hands, calm minds. Use this moment to think, learn, evaluate. Because true opportunity rarely comes without patience, awareness, and readiness. This right now could be one of those opportunities, or it could be the beginning of a long road. Either way, as viewers, holders, watchers, we all get to follow what happens next. So stick with me, keep watching updates, keep checking official sources, watch bank behavior, watch exchange rates, watch global financial signals, watch liquidity, transparency, institutional responses. And most importantly, watch what happens between now and tomorrow, next week, next month. Because currency isn't about one announcement, it's about what follows. If you stay alert, you'll see whether this is a historic turning point or just a headline. And when that clarity comes, you'll be ready. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, this isn't just speculation anymore. It's a new chapter. A moment in time when the dinar may be stepping into something bigger. Whether that becomes reality depends on many moving parts, and you might be part of it. So stay informed, stay patient, stay ready. And I'll see you in the next update.